In this lesson, we're going to take a look at hexads. That's coming up next, so grab your bass and let's get started. So what exactly are hexads? Well, hexads are a grouping of 6 notes that are usually referred to as a chord structure that is built in consecutive chord tones. As the lower structure of the chord is based on the root, 3, 5, and 7, what we need to do is continue moving up in thirds to get all 6 notes. This results in a 6-note arpeggio that contains the root, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11. The 9th and the 11th are considered chord tensions, or some people even refer to these as chord extensions. Chord tensions are still very much chord tones, and this allows us to use these upper structure notes as resolution points within our lines. Like any other component of music, chord tones on their own after a while tend to sound a little too predictable. One way to expand the sound of an arpeggio and alter their power of expression is by combining chord tones and chord tensions together. This provides you with a richer and more fuller sound that can really start to enhance the melodic character of your lines. So let's go ahead and dive straight in and apply this over a major 7th chord. And we're going to start with G major 7. So if I play the arpeggio up and down, I've got this. Now if I go to extend this by adding the 9 and the sharp 11, this is what I've got. Note how this takes us 1 fret out of a 1 finger per fret position. So don't try to do this in one position. Don't try to just stretch your fingers. Do a little micro shift. Then I want to start moving up in whole steps, so I move to A major 7. Then to B major 7. Then to D flat major 7. Then to E flat major 7. Then to F major 7. And then I'm back to G major 7. Okay, so one of the things that you can start to do to create some interest with this drill is to start to ascend up one way and descend back down the other. So when I start on G, I'm going to ascend. Then I'm going to move up a whole step to D sharp, which is the sharp 11 of A major 7, and descend back down. Then I'll do the same thing by moving up a whole step to the next root, which is the B. And then I move up a whole step to the next sharp 11, which is G. Then I move up a whole step to the next root, which is E flat. Up the next major second to the sharp 11 over the F major 7. And then I'm back to the G. Now one of the things you could do is just take that back down like this. Okay, so let's now investigate this a little further by changing the order of the individual notes within the hexad itself. So to do this, what I'm going to do is create a drill over a specific chord progression, and that's going to be C major 7 going down to A major 7. So it's moving down a minor third. Okay, then up a major second to the B major 7, going down another minor third, A flat major 7th, and then up to B flat, major 7, down to G major 7, and then up to A major 7, and down to F sharp major 7. So this kind of progression where you're taking major 7th chords, you're moving around in intervals of minor thirds, kind of is reminiscent of Jaco Pastoris's Havana that he wrote for the record Heavy Weather by Weather Report. And this is kind of a cool exercise because it helps us to kind of navigate using these hexad chord structures, these 6-part arpeggios that use the 9 and the sharp 11 over this kind of a chord progression. And you can really sort of hear how this works melodically, and it's kind of cool, just a cool exercise to work on. So what I'm going to do is I'm playing the C major 7, and I'm going to reverse the order of the notes, or just not reverse them, but just kind of permutate them so they're not just going up and down. So I've got the C going up to the E, then down to the G, then up to the B, up to the D, up to the F sharp, then down to the D, down to the B. So what that gives me is the root 3, 5, 7, 9, sharp 11, 9, 7. And it just gives us that little pattern there, which is quite cool. Now, here's what I want you to see from this as well, is that when you do this, what you're creating is a kind of chord-on-chord concept, or a superimposed chord over the original chord. Because if we take our original chord, which is C major 7, but if you look at this particular shape, it looks just like a G major 7th, doesn't it? So I've got the root 3, 5, 7, 5, 3 of a G major 7, but that's actually the 5, 7, 9, and sharp 11 of the C major 7. So what's cool about it is that we can relate that pattern and know that it works over that original chord. And it also helps us to see that visually and then make that connection with the sound of how that works. So that's basically superimposing a major 7th, a perfect 5th above the original chord that we've got. So again, now when I move down to the A major 7, I don't want to just shift my hand up and do that same pattern. I want to cop that in that position. So what I'm doing is I'm going the root 3, and then I'm going down to the 5th, to the 7, to the 9, sharp 11, 9, and 7. So I've got this pattern, you know. So I've got this in C. Quite a nice sound. It really sort of lifts and makes that sound of the original chord much fuller. So if we then take this and then apply it over the progression itself, this is what we're going to end up with. Okay, so what I want you to do is take this particular progression, which is C major 7 down to A major 7, B major 7 down to A flat major 7, B flat major 7 down to G major 7, and then A major 7 down to F sharp major 7, and then transpose that into every key. Once you can start to do that and play through all of those within all those keys with predictable accuracy, it'll start to give you an indication of how you can put your own lines together. The musical use of combining arpeggios with their extensions can open up a whole new world of harmonic possibilities for you to explore. By learning and playing through these patterns can bring about an amazing sense of freedom, almost creating a bitonal effect or a sense of two different chords being played simultaneously. Until next time, practice smart, work hard, and play creatively.